Shadows dance across the floor. Got up when I heard you calling. I feel freer than before. Now the weight is gone.
We're out here this morning. We finally got the Jeep out in the dirt. It's great to get it out and finally test some of the work we've done on it. Also just finding new things that we want to get done before future events are coming up. So we're going to take this opportunity to dive in with a little bit more depth, everything that we've done to the Jeep. So let's get rolling. So up front, we have this hefty Fabworks bumper. This is an awesome bumper. It's steel. It's really easy to install. It bolts directly onto these factory front frame horns. And then it also has a lower piece that bolts on that's covering that sway bar disconnect, and also just cleans all this up and gives you a nice approach angle. Inside the bumper here, we have Baja Design's SAE Squadrons. So these are DOT approved lights. They're street legal, which are really nice so that you can use those on the road and you're not blinding oncoming drivers. And then as far as the winch goes, we have the Warn VR Evo. This is their 10K winch with synthetic line, and then we have a Factor 55 hook here. So a lot of great opportunities for self-recovery with this winch, and then tied in with this bumper, it's just a really nice clean look. We are going to be adding a hoop that goes up over this from Hefty. That's an option that bolts onto this bumper, and then we're going to get those Baja Designs LP9 Pros mounted on that hoop going up and over. So we have some wiring work. We still got to wire up these lights, and then once we get those LP9s on there, wire those too. But that's it for the front bumper here. As far as wheel and tire goes, we are running the 37-inch Kenda Cleaver RT. This tire is incredibly awesome. We've had some great luck with this tire in the past. We've raced on this tire on our race truck, and overall the performance is really good. On-road, off-road, and snow, wet, ice, we've been really happy with it. The RT is really cool because it's basically a more aggressive all-terrain. So you have that all-terrain performance that you get on-road, where it's a little less aggressive, it's not as loud, you're gonna get longer life out of the tire, but it also does really good with deep mud, deep snow. It clears out the treads really nice, and then it also has some good siping. So once you get into packed snow and ice, it also has some good traction there. As far as wheel goes, this is the Nomad Wheel Arvo. This is a 17-inch wheel. We really like the small wheel, big tire. So a 17-inch wheel is usually the standard for us. Sometimes if we can go smaller, we'll go to a 16, but for the most part, 17 is a great option as far as wheel goes. The wheel looks really sick. We think it's a nice, clean, simple look. Nomad's known for clean, simple wheels. So if you're looking for that kind of style, definitely check out Nomad Wheel. Diving into the roof rack and our product offerings here, this is our sunlight rack for these JTs. The cool thing about this rack system is it's a two-piece design, so if you're looking to take this Freedom top off, you can actually undo these gutter mounts, pull this front section of the rack, still maintain your rear section there, and remove that. It uses our gutter mount technology. Side plates are 60/61 1/4-inch aluminum, so this rack's super beefy. You got built-in handles, built-in tie downs, and then you also have a bunch of adjustability and the ability to add more crossbars if you need to, depending on what you're throwing up here. So one of the great things about our rack system is it's super modular. So this setup can change depending on what trip you're going on, but right now we're running a set of traction boards up here. These are just max tracks. And then we have a 66-liter Roam case using our Roam case mounts. And then we also have a Starlink setup. So this is a mount that is in progress. We do want to offer this, but this is Starlink in motion. It flat mounts straight to the roof rack with a simple bracket, and then all the guts for the Starlink are in a separate case, and we can plug that in and get internet pretty much anywhere, which is super cool. But everything's using our mounts here. Everything's really easy to move around and place where you need, and we can totally change this setup. So when Will's going off to Ultimate LJ Adventure next week, we're probably going to have a slightly different setup depending on what he's going to be using it for. So pretty great. So moving back to the bed here, we have our prototype Bedrack system. We're really excited to share more information about these as we continue our development, but we're getting really close on getting these finished. So this is our mid-height version. We have a lot of accessories set up on this. Some of the accessories we might not be offering right away, but are in the testing phase. For example, this tray system that we're running the rigged ramble rack on to mount this bike. This is something that we're kind of playing with right now. We have a few things we definitely want to change, but we have a full lighting setup inside and outside on this bed rack. We have chase lights on here. We have a rooftop tent, axe, water, propane mount. So we can dive in a little bit more depth on each of those pieces. So as far as lighting goes on this Bedrack system, the setup we're running right now is we have a rock light on each tower on the outside facing out. These are kind of just shining straight into this bike rack right now, so it's not doing a whole lot, but the internal lighting right now is awesome. So there's a rock light tucked up inside this tower. You can see that light splash on my hand there. And these are the Baja Design rock lights with our handle light brackets. So we're designing these handle light brackets to not only work really well with our rack systems, but they're also going to work well with our bed rack systems. And these are also, we have these built-in spots for these in here, but there's also many other places on this bed rack where you could put those. For example, you could move this and put it under this tray if you wanted to. You can put them up under these towers if you want them more centered in here, but it gives a really good light spread inside the bed so you can see all your gear at night. And then depending on what you have mounted on the outside, if you have it more cleared off, you're going to have some awesome scene lighting outside of the vehicle as well. And then back here we have our chase lights. This is a Baja Designs S1 with an amber lens on it. These are going to be really good for those low light conditions when you have someone chasing you down, when you're in heavy dust, just to make sure that you're visible. You can also do like strobes on these if you have an SPOD system controlling it. So great option there. We really like these. They're also just good reverse lights if you need some more light shining backwards. So if you come in here, you can kind of tell for the most part the bed is relatively wide open. And then some of the things that are staying in here more permanently, we have affixed to the bed rack kind of up out of the way. So we have an axe set up in here with our quick fist mounts, and those are kind of flushed in to that tower, so they don't really hang out much, which is really nice. You can also do this with shovels, and this is going to work great on these smaller crossbars that are spanning the towers. And then we also have a bigger plate, which we'll get to on that left side, which those work as well on those. And then we also have a Rotopax up here tucked up out of the way. So this is mounted on our crossbar that's running vertically here, or back to front, I suppose. And that's a great way to just get some more stuff up out of the way. So as you can see, there's a lot of versatility built into this system, and as we continue to make more accessories for it, there's going to be a lot of really cool options. Another really nice thing inside this bed rack is there's a lot of opportunity to run clean wiring. So with all the slots and everything in these channels and how they are a C-channel shape and not like a fully boxed design, is you can get the wires in here really nice, run them where you need to be running them, and zip tie them up out of the way super clean so that nothing's going to get caught as you're throwing gear back here, and visually it just looks really nice and organized. So over on this side we have our prototype for our propane tank mount. We also have our water port mount here. Mainly just showcasing that with these panels you can pretty much mount anything you want. You can mount shovels, axes, max tracks, Rotopax, all kinds of things. So the versatility that you're going to get out of this system is going to be really, really nice depending on what gear you're planning to haul with your truck. So moving up here to the tent that we're running on this bed rack, this is a new Free Spirit recreation tent. It's an unreleased version, but overall it's a lightweight, really simple clamshell tent, and that's kind of what we wanted. We wanted something low profile that doesn't add a bunch of weight back here on the bed. So this tent's going to be really awesome for that. It also has a track system built into the top, so if we want to add a little bit more gear onto the back here, we could put a solar panel, or we could do some relatively simple lightweight gear up on top of this tent. So this is going to be awesome moving forward, especially on our camping trips. But yeah, that's the bed setup back here, and pretty much everything we've done to the Jeep. We'll dive into the electrical management system that we're using to run all the lights. But outside of that, that's where we're at. We definitely are gonna dive into some suspension as well, but that's coming in the future. So opening the hood here, we can dive into that SPOD system that we're using to manage all of our electrical in this Jeep, especially as we continue to add more electrical accessories, 12-volt accessories into this vehicle. So this system here is the Bantam X from SPOD. This is an 8-gang switch panel. This is a system that requires no relays. It's really easy to install. This actually comes with a bracket specifically designed for this vehicle. So we were able to throw this in and wire it up in under an hour, which is really nice. But this basically manages all of your electrical system, and it makes it really easy to add more. So all you're doing is running your leads straight into this system, and then your control panel connects to this and goes into the vehicle. And outside of the control panel, this also has Bluetooth connectivity. So you can also control all those accessories from your phone. So this is a really great system to keep your vehicle safe, make sure you're not killing your battery, and then also just have full control over those accessories, whether you want to strobe, dim, or just have momentary. You can also just do normal on and off. So great system, and then we'll show you the touchscreen inside the truck. So diving into this touch panel here, you can see it's a really clean layout. We have it mounted up out of the way. We're actually going to eventually mount it to American Adventure Labs attic system, but for right now we kind of just have it sandwiched through that piece there. But this gives you a really clean setup as far as controlling all of this stuff goes. You can individually name each switch, so as we add more accessories, we're going to be able to name them all. So our fog lights, bumper lights, we're going to add a secondary 12-volt to run fridges off of that we can control from here. But you can dive into setup, and you can adjust how your switches are titled, and you can also change your features. So this one's set so we can strobe it, and we can make it dimmable. So these lights in the bed, when I turn these on, I now have control of how bright those lights are. I can dim them way down, I can go as bright as I want, and then I can also have them strobing at the same time. So it's some cool features that you can do in here. And then not only that, but this is going to keep your battery from dying. So if I forget that I left those on and I go to bed, my battery's not going to be dead in the morning. So it's smart enough to know how much voltage it needs to make sure we can start that truck. So that pretty much covers every aftermarket piece that we've added to this Jeep to make it do the things that we want it to and be a little bit more comfortable for our trips. But one of the big blaring obvious things that we did do is we got this Jeep wrapped. This Jeep was black. Jake at Lucid Wraps did an awesome job. We kind of mocked some stuff up in Photoshop to figure out what we kind of wanted the Jeep to look like and how we wanted to represent our brand. And Jake did a really awesome job doing this right before Overland Expo. So the detail in this wrap's really awesome, and we're excited to add a little bit more branding on the back of the Jeep. But for now, we're stoked on how it turned out. We love the color, and the overall quality of the wrap that Lucid Wraps did is right on. It's good.